The stapler is one of those office tools we barely notice until we need it, yet behind its humble presence lies a surprisingly regal origin. The very first stapler in history was not invented for clerks, accountants, or schoolchildren, but for royalty. In 18th century France, during the reign of King Louis XV, a custom-made device was created to fasten documents with elegance and authority. Each staple carried the king's insignia, making every fastened page not just organized, but marked by monarchy. The story begins with the demands of royal bureaucracy. By the 1700s, the French court produced an enormous volume of documents, decrees, financial records, correspondences, and official reports. Managing this paperwork required methods more reliable than pins, ribbons, or wax seals. For the king, whose signature conferred authority, even the fasteners themselves became part of royal symbolism. Craftsmen designed a unique device that could press small metal fasteners through paper with precision. What we would recognize today as a stapler was born. But this was no ordinary tool. The king's stapler was made with precious materials, likely incorporating fine metals or ornamentation to reflect its royal owner. Most strikingly, the staples themselves were custom designed. Each tiny piece of bent metal was engraved with the fleur-de-lis, the emblem of French royalty. Thus, every staple not only held pages together, but stamped them as extensions of the king's authority. It was both a practical tool and a symbol of state power. Though ingenious, the royal stapler remained a luxury rather than a mass invention. Most Europeans continued to bind documents with string, wax, or pins well into the 19th century. It was not until the late 1800s, in the industrial age, that staplers began to appear in recognizable form for everyday use. In 1866, George W. McGill patented a small device in the United States that inserted and clinched pre-made staples. By the 1870s, stapling machines became more practical. And by the early 20th century, companies like Swingline standardized the designs still familiar today. The leap from Louis XV's jeweled stapler to the office supply aisle was dramatic. What began as a symbol of royal extravagance became one of the most democratic tools imaginable, found in classrooms, homes, and offices across the world. Unlike the king's custom staples, today's versions are mass-produced, cheap, and disposable, but their essence is the same, binding loose pages into unity. The evolution of the stapler reflects a broader story: the transformation of innovations from luxury objects of the elite into practical necessities for all. Just as the printing press, once reserved for grand religious texts, became the medium for newspapers and novels, so too did the stapler descend from royal privilege to everyday life. Its royal origins remind us that even the smallest, most ordinary objects can have extraordinary beginnings. In the modern world, staplers are so ubiquitous they often go unnoticed until they jam a frustration that feels oddly timeless. Yet behind each click of metal on paper is an invention with roots in the grandeur of Versailles. The stapler's journey, from custom-crafted jewel to mass-produced plastic tool, demonstrates how necessity, industry, and even monarchy shaped the tools we take for granted.
8.
The next time you press down on a stapler, think of King Louis XV, a monarch who wanted his documents bound not just by utility, but by majesty. His stapler may have been fit for a king, but its descendants now serve us all.